Hello, Joseph Wilcox, once again doing Unit 7 Assignment 1, I'm now doing World Bank. The history of the World Bank, it was created in 1944, and the World Bank was created with the goal of reducing world poverty. So it now consists of 188 members across the world, obviously, and the idea of it is that it will help others who are struggling in poverty and be able to drag them out of that. What has the organisation achieved? Well, it has helped many countries, like any bank in the world. It will provide loans if you're in money debt, but this is a special one because it's very, very low interest rates on the way back if you're asking for a loan or if you're in debt, so that it won't literally rob the country of money. It's there to help, it's there to give money and not get money back. It's just there to give money for a short period of time and then have back what they gave you, just so that they can sort out their own, just so the country can sort themselves out. This will help countries rebuild their financial status. Obviously, it doesn't say how much that the countries have lent or what countries have what amount of money, because that's all confidential, and obviously you can't know that. So what's the aim of the organisation? The aim of the organisation, they have two aims really by 2030. One is to end extreme poverty by decreasing the percentage of people living on less than $1.90 a day, now more than 3%. So basically they want to try and get everybody into a job, and they want to try and get those jobs actually paying money, which is actually fair amount to pay, rather than having to work for nothing, basically manual labour for no money. So then the second aim that they have by 2030 is to promote shared prosperity by fostering the income growth of the bottom 40% for every country. So these are the two aims of the organisations on the World Bank website. This shows that one, they're not aiming to get themselves money. Two, they're not aiming to increase the size of themselves. Three, it's all about the country. Can they help people in the country less poverty? Can they help the country get out of debt? Can they do this? Can they do that? But nothing is really for themselves. Even though I'm sure they do make money, the aim of it isn't to make money sort of thing. It's to help and reward countries who are not in debt, and then help people get out of debt. So then, who does the organisation target to achieve its goals? It targets every country in the world really, but because it works with all the countries in the world, if it's working with, say, a country which is really well off, like let's just say Germany are really well off, then they'll be working with them and they'll be getting slight interest rates to save the money. But then you look at a country not as well off, say Uganda, then you see that they're in debt. They'll give them a loan. They won't ask for very much back, only a tiny percentage back, and then they'll be giving the money, trying to help end poverty, try and bring the country's financial status back up to a decent level, and that's how they work. So they do work with every country in the world, but I would say mainly the ones in poverty or where there's hunger. So they are currently working all around the world in every country with governments and states and countries and even continents like Europe and Africa, working with them as a whole in order to try and reduce poverty, try and work together to save money, not to make money, but to try and give everybody a fair chance of redeeming a good financial status. So, how does the organisation impact the UK public services? Well, to be honest, it doesn't really impact the UK public services because it's a bank for our nation and our government. But it does give us slight interest rates because we do have quite a bit of money in there because we're one of the founders in there. one of the founders of the bank. So it will allow us to spend slightly more because of the interest rates, but not very much more. They'll also offer to give us a loan if we need. So if we ever go into financial difficulty, they'll give us a loan, but that isn't really impacting our public services very much. Or it probably would, but not directly. So then, I'm going to explain what the International Bank of Reconstruction. International Bank of Reconstruction and Development. So basically, after World War II, it helped rebuild Europe, and it would basically go to the countries which had been worst hit by it, and then look after them, as in try and help their country. Rebuild the different areas which have been destroyed, the different landmarks, the different important government buildings and air forces and all of those stuff. They'll go and provide loans and assist with. It'll assist countries with middle income, so it will help them, but they won't have to take out a loan for them to help them. So the International Bank of Reconstruction and Development works closely with the rest of the World Bank Group and reduces poverty, as it'll develop things like school in not so well off places and provide loans for hospitals and care centres to be built. It'll also promote economic growth, so hopefully if you have a loan off them, then you should be able to set up a economy where you can get money back and make money, hopefully, in order to pay back the loan, but also for a longer term future. And it would also help build prosperity, so that's quite obvious. It'll just obviously increase that. So then, next is International Development Association and the IDA. So the International Development Association, IDA, is basically a group of, a part of the World Bank that only really concentrates on the not so well off countries, the ones in poverty, the ones where they don't have enough money to turn stuff around. So then this is basically done to reduce poverty by providing loans and grants and sorting out different programs in order to rebuild the economy and society and try and set up an industry where they'll be able to make money and pay the loan back, but also build on top so that they'll have a long-term thing going on. So then this is the largest source of assistance for the world's 71 poorest countries, and over half of those are in Africa. So that is where a lot of the money gets put into. So then the IDA lends money with consensual terms. So they could be sending out a loan with 0% interest, so they're just getting the money back which they gave to them, or they might be having a very, very low interest, but it'll most likely be with no interest charge on, and it'll most likely just be free loan sort of thing. And the countries which do have money, it'll be a slight interest charge if they decide to take out a loan because they can afford to pay it back. So charges could be with having to be repaid in a year, 10 years, 20 years, could go all the way up to 40 years really, which obviously allows them to get some money in before they have to start paying it back, which is always good for the country and state if they're in financial difficulty. So then that is the World Bank. We'll finish that.